if you are a brand new entrepreneur, chances are that you probably don't understand business funding. And on this video, I'm going to show you everything that I learned as a former bank vice president that generated over $100 million dollars in business and personal loans. So make sure you stick to the end so you finally get a general understanding of the options that are available to you through the regular banking system and also through the government. Okay, so here's an ebook that I wrote so I can give you some resources to know exactly what type of funding is available to you as a brand new entrepreneur or maybe a little bit of a more established one. And by the way, for the banks, you're considered a startup when you are in the first 2 years of your LLC creation, right? You're in those first 2 years, which can be really rough when you are, trying to get funding or get your business up and going. You need capital so you can survive, or so you can make more money, and then the banks want to see you making money so they could give you capital. But I'm going to give you some options so that I'm going to help you, even if your credit is not the best too. So let's go. And again, on this book, I do have everything that I have learned. Well, some of the biggest things that I have learned to desensitize business funding for startups. And this is what I learned. The business funding system can be very confusing, right? You can go to almost any single employee at the branch location, and you might be lucky enough that you meet with somebody that's already seasoned, and they can tell you exactly how to get business funding. They might be familiar with the business banking process of the branch. But the truth is, retail branch employees, they're kind of like a general doctor. They have so many things that they have to handle on the personal side, on the business side of the bank, plus the back office. They have so many requirements that it takes the bank to have a specialized person, a business banking officer, business banking relationship manager, or a branch manager that has been specifically trained to deal with business owners so they can understand how to have a conversation with a business owner and all the different options that are available when you're getting started. But even at that level, if you don't get the right person at the bank, honestly, that could be the difference between you even knowing that these resources are available to you or not, right? So it's very important you find somebody that's seasoned and that has a little bit of a passion for helping business owners, right? And then on top of that, the reason why it's so complicated, if you are a W-2 employee, the lending process is very cookie cutter. Give us pay stubs, tax returns. Let's see exactly how much you make. Based on how much you make and the fixed expenses that you have regarding the credit, is how they're going to decide to see if they're going to lend to you or not. And then it's very finite, right? Whatever you make, whatever you have left over is what they're willing to lend you. Very straight to the point. When you're a business, there are so many different situations that you can have, whether you're a retail business, you get money, a cash flow every day, or let's say you're a consultant business that you might have customers that pay you 30 days, or you're a government contractor, it could be 1 to 2 months. And the bank understands that they don't know all businesses that are out there. They're familiar with quite a lot, but not with all of them. So because of this, it can create a lot of confusion because in order for the bank to determine if they're going to lend to you, they require a lot of different documentation in most cases. So what the banks actually did, they do understand that startups do need lending, and they have some products that they offer for startups. So let's take a look. And imagine, and the crazy thing too, you can go to one bank and then go to another bank. They're going to have a different lending criteria, right? Like every bank is different. They all have their own underwriting guidelines. And guess what? There's 4,844 banks in the United States. You might know 10 to 15. And the big banks are kind of similar in the way that they lend, but the community banks, the local banks, they're quite different. So you can walk into one branch, a different branch for the rest, and a different bank for the next, 10 years, and you're going to have a different answer as to how to get business funding when you're a startup. But if you have this guy, which by the way, let me know in the comments if you want a copy of this guy so I can send it to you. Just comment on the comments, and then I'll send you a copy of this resource. But here, let's take a look at some of the things that you could do. This one, if you are on this video on your business funding journey, you probably have seen a lot of people doing ads talking about that they could get you up to $250,000 worth of business funding, and a whole bunch of other big promises of 0%, which, by the way, it can be true if you grab the right company. And what these companies do is they leverage the business credit card programs that most of the big banks have and some of the smaller banks have in order to give you access to capital. And the beautiful thing about the credit card product is not a product that you have to have a specific time requirement in the branch, right? You could go to a bank like Chase or Wells Fargo, TD Bank, PNC Bank, and if you go and apply and you have a relationship with the bank and you have a pretty good, decent personal credit score, there's a chance, a very high chance that you have at least a 680 and above and low utilization, and you have a diversified credit portfolio that you could get approved for that business credit card. Now, what happens when they go and ask you, what is the business revenue? That doesn't make any sense because you just started, right? You just started the business, right? Like, or you might be in the first 6 months. You can't really tell exactly how much money you're gonna make the first year, and they're gonna ask you that. It's just part of their application system, their software. And when I used to work at the bank, and people used to ask me that question, I went to an underwriter like, hey, like, why are we asking these brand new business owners? What do they have to do? What is the projected revenue, or like, what is the actual revenue that you started? And they told me, well, it's based on the stated revenue or the actual real projected revenue that they expect to make based on with the business plan, right? And that's the answer a lot of underwriters are going to give you, and how they base it. They're going to decision this credit card. So banks understand that your business has a very high chance of failing, so they're going to require a personal guarantee for your credit card, like to give you that business credit card. So your business doesn't pay, then you pay, right? And it's just right. Like, if you really believe in your business, you really believe in your dreams. Like, I mean, me personally, I will go bankrupt for any more of the businesses that I have started if I needed to. So again, credit card stacking is when you go to multiple banks and then you decide to get approved for multiple business credit cards, leveraging your personal credit, your personal good credit, and then the brand new LLC that was started. And you can do this honestly, even when you're past a 12-month mark, right? But this is one of the few options that you have available. You have good to decent credit, right? Average approval might be 5,000, 10,000. It all depends exactly on what you have available in your personal credit and what type of debt you have managed in the past. So you have managed home equity line of credit, a personal auto loan, a personal loan, and you paid everything in time. You have a couple personal trade lines that were paid off. It's going to increase your approval. I have seen people get approved up to $75,000. And fun fact, Chase will actually go up to 150, I believe, and with a minimal documentation. But that's more for established businesses, not for startups. So, and a key to this is you want to get a larger approval, you need to apply with a business banking relationship manager. This is an employee that is specialized at the bank in business products. Sometimes these people have a specific requirement for you to be in business a certain amount of time, or you need to be able to bring a large bring in some cash that you're going to deposit into the bank account for them to be able to do business with you, right? Like some banks might be $500,000 gross revenue, 1 million, 3 million, and there's levels. As your business is growing, the level of the business relationship manager goes up as well. All right, let's keep going. Some banks do have startup business lines of credit, which are actually very hard to get. 9 times out of 10, they're going to make you be in business for at least a year. But then you have banks like Wells Fargo, PNC, that they have an SBA, and SBA stands for the Small Business Administration. Is the government. They actually back up and guarantee that line of credit, that loan product, to the bank in order for them to lend to you when you're in that risky stage, you're in the startup stage. So these banks do, like, I personally, every time I open an LLC, I go to Wells Fargo, I go to PNC. And then eventually, after a year or two, then I might move to TD Bank or a bank like Chase. But again, these products do exist. You're able to get them approved, but you have to have that relationship with them. So whatever it is that you're banking at a personal level, I will ask them what type of business products they have, and they have anything that's friendly for startups. And I would open the checking account there and see if you could get that approval, because they already know you. You already gave them business. Like, banks really love when you give them that relationship. So you got to take the bank, and you got to be faithful to the bank, right? So that's one way for you to get that highly desired business line of credit. Now, once you pass the 12-month mark, you open a lot of more opportunities. When you're under 12 months, there's not that many opportunities that you can have to get a business line of credit, right? Because a lot of these banks depend on the score called the SBSS score. You can find it out on nav.com. pay like $60 a month, and then it goes anywhere from 0 to 300. And if you have at least a 190 SBSS score, then which is hard to have when you're a startup, then that opens a lot of different opportunities for you to have a business line of credit. That's usually the minimum score, 190 out of 300. So go to nab.com for you to check that out. Then the other option is CDFIs, Community Benefit Financial Institutions. I made a video on this, so make sure you check it out. I might put it somewhere on the screen if I have time. But these are some of them are startup friendly, and then they're able to take your business plan and the financial projections that you have for your startup to give you some startup capital. Average approval, honestly, is like 50K for startups, and that's through the SBA micro lending program. And I'm gonna make another video on that once I make it. If I have time, I'll put it somewhere on the screen. But yes, the government has a micro lending program to help startups up to 50K. Minimum credit score is like 620. And I do, again, comment me on this video so I can send you this resource. So yes, microloans up to 50K to the SBA. You can go to this website right here, go to a lender match program. The SBA will actually match you with a lender, with a local lender that they believe might be able to get you access to that capital. And then the other option that you have as a startup is grants, right? So grants are great for startups. There is free money. You don't have to pay it back in most cases, as long as you use a grant for its intended purpose. And honestly, when it comes to grants, it's just a numbers game. You have to learn how to find these grants. I'm gonna make another video on how to find the grants. But what a tool that I use to find the grants is helloskip.com. There's the link. I'm gonna put the link on the caption as well. I'm gonna put all these links on the caption too. So, or you just want the resource, let me know. But you can go to this. I do have an affiliate relationship with them, by the way. But even if I wasn't get a credit for you guys to sign up, I would still recommend them. So go to helloskip.com directly. If you don't want to give me credit, or just go directly and maybe I get credit, whatever. But they have a great tool where they find the grants for you, right? And then they also have an auto apply AI feature on their website where they actually apply for the grants for you, and they find them, they apply for you. Sometimes you do have to go in there and do a little bit of manual work, but this is a great tool for you to utilize. Community banks. This is one of my favorite options because remember I told you there's 4,844 banks, right? So out of those 4,844 banks, I don't know all of them, right? And if anybody out there tells you they have to talk to every single bank, they might be doing Mr. Biz video, or they're lying to you. But you can go to this website right here, icba.org, find your local community bank. They love to lend the community. They're smaller. And you have, let's say, your big banks like Wells Fargo and Chase that they spend so much money on marketing that you know their name. But then your local community bank, that might be the hidden gem. They might have that great program that can help you. Like, for example, there's a bank that I use a lot in Florida. They're only on 3 states, New York, New Jersey, I think Alabama, and Florida. Valley Bank, they have a community lending startup line of credit where they match whatever you have in your credit, personal credit card report, and they kind of like try to get close to whatever your max balance was or is that you currently have with your personal credit, up to $100,000. Minimum credit score is like a 640. Know the regulatory marks and a whole bunch of stuff. But again, like, these are just some banks that are coming out of the top of my head. But these community banks, that's where you're gonna find those great products that big banks don't have. And they do have a larger credit box to help you, right? To fit you into the little lending box that the big banks don't have. So in some of these community banks, they still do relationship banking. So I highly recommend you check them out. Go to that tool right there. Find a local bank, the smaller the better. Give them a call. Explain your situation, where you're trying to get, and see what products they have available for you as a startup, right? So let me see if I have something else in this document. I do have something else for more established businesses, but I'm going to leave this video here. And again, you want this document, just comment in the comments, and then I'm going to send it to you. And yeah, and let me know. Maybe I make another video to talk about, once your business is more established, where to get funding, because you really unlock a plethora. Hopefully I'm saying that word correctly. I'm bilingual. You don't know I'm Dominican, so first language is Spanish. Sometimes these big words I don't know how to pronounce them. But anyways, Yeah, I'm gonna make another video depending on how much. Make sure you like and subscribe. If this video gets a lot of engagement, I might make some time to make another one. But in the meantime, let me know this information was helpful. Let me know you do try any of these strategies. There's a lot more strategies too that I could talk about, but I don't want to make these videos that long. So let me know if it was helpful. And then you want the cash, I got the banks.